And now the fate of this third plan looms in this moment. We are expecting White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre to address the looming deadline and this new plan within the hour. We will bring you that as soon as it starts live. But first, let's get to News Nation's Joe Khalil, who is on Capitol Hill among all of this chaos. Joe, what are you monitoring?
So I can tell you that the bottom line here at this moment, Natasha, is there is a third attempt that the Speaker's office now says will move forward. That bill would avoid a government shutdown. When I say one bill, it's actually three bills that are supposedly going to get three separate votes. One would extend government funding as it is right now up until March. A second vote would also give hurricane victims disaster relief money. And then a third would be economic assistance to farmers.
So let me just break this down, for example. One of the things that was being held over the heads of Republicans was this whole thing. When you seen Hakeem Jeffries speak on the Democratic side, what he was basically trying to tout was, hey, listen, Republicans don't want to actually fund the government in order to make sure that economic assistance to farmers and hurricane disaster relief is going. That's not true. What Republicans was basically fighting is a bunch of bloated spending that also includes raises for members of Congress of up to 40%. And they were saying that's a no-go. You seen Vivek Ramaswamy that was talking about that. Obviously, Elon Musk is having a go at it, and Trump is having to talk about it. But the whole idea was that, we need a bare bones, three different bills separately instead of one bill, right? So what they tried to do was cram through 1,500 pages of bloatware, including a bunch of pet projects for Congress members in order to make sure that they get the bill passed. And Trump was like, nah, listen, I don't really want that. I'm not rocking with that. And I'm not about to take on a legacy of Biden with more of the same for the last 4 years. And so that was rejected, obviously, and they want to actually get things done once Trump take office January 20th. So instead of pushing through a bunch of bloatware, what's being proposed is that they basically vote on three separate issues that address the main things and then keep the government open, including veterans still getting their checks and workers not being furloughed, so on and so forth. And so that's why you see the House voting on three separate bills to fund the government through March, which is basically keep most of the things status quo without all of the pet projects and stuff like that. And that allows for them to be able to negotiate and figure out things and get things done while Trump is in office once he get inaugurated on January 2nd. The second bill is to economic assistance to farmers, because that's a big deal. And then the third is a disaster relief for people that were affected by the hurricanes. So that is basically what is going on. They're not voting on raising or eliminating the debt ceiling, and this is what's being proposed in the third round, hopefully before there's a government shutdown later on today. All right?
Of it because the economy has just been hard over the last 2 years for farmers, and some would be disaster relief for the farmers whose crop was devastated by those storms. That is what the Congress is looking at right now. For those at home, what that means is that the government would feasibly remain open. That means military members would still get their paychecks. That means that if you've got VA money coming in, that would not be delayed. And generally, that means that many federal workers who might otherwise be furloughed would keep working through the holidays. So all of that very important if Congress is able to pass all three of these bills, or at least one being the one that extends government funding. We just don't know whether that's going to happen. We don't know if any one of these three will have enough votes to pass. Natasha, as we know, this has been a very chaotic situation.
I don't see
over
why
the last
at
3
least
days.
two of them
Everything is very
wouldn't be able to
fluid. I
pass.
cannot
But I'm
stress
okay
that
with the
enough.
government shutdown anyway
We saw
in order to get this
way
thing
more
fixed. But they should
Republicans
vote
vote
on it
against their
separately.
own party's bill last night than we expected to. And frankly, I can tell you that the Speaker's office, and they've really been the key driver of these packages and these bills, they were even surprised at just how many Republicans opposed what they tried to do last night in extending the government. This started out with a bill that was about this thick, 1,500 pages. Yesterday, it dwindled down to just 116 pages. So
never should have been 1,500 pages. And The fact that Vivek Ramaswamy actually read through those 1,500 pages shows you how things have been over the last 4 years, and it shouldn't be that way anymore.
They've cut out a large chunk of what was originally attempted to pass. It was a big, giant bill that had a whole lot of extra money that was spent on things that, frankly, a lot of Republicans didn't like. There were some things that they did like, but they thought it's too much to just put in a bill that should exclusively be for keeping the government open. So this is where we are now. This is the state of play. We've seen Donald Trump weigh in a bit, but a key measure that he wanted in these bills, which would be increasing the debt limit and effectively allowing the government not to default on its debts, that is no longer going to be in here. And that was, I'm told, one reason a lot of Republicans opposed the bill last night. So if you take that out, does it now get more votes? We are going to find out later today. One thing I'll add, in about a half hour from now, Republicans will be huddling all together as a party, Natasha. Ultimately, they're going to decide how specifically and mechanically they're going to move forward with these votes. But that's our understanding, is these votes are going to happen sometime later this afternoon, and we will see very soon what the outcome is.
I would love to get Biden and Kamala Harris's input on this again, because as I said yesterday, when The View was trying to have a conversation about Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and Trump and their influence and their impact, we're acting like they are already the president of the United States of America. And I'm thankful for that. Don't get me wrong. I'm very, very happy about that. But where is Biden, and where is his voice in this? And where is Kamala Harris? And did he just disappear once and for all? Did they just go ahead and hang it up and rein it in and decide that they just going to go ahead and do their own thing and fundraise for the next round of voting or the next elections in the midterm and then ultimately in 2028, or to try to fix that $20 million hole that they have? Or are they actually participating in helping our government, because they are still getting paid? They're still on the job. But we'll see what's happening. I'm still going to stay on top of this. Let me see if you guys have anything else to say.
Joe, the real question, I think, are the votes there, either in the House or the Senate, especially since this does need some Democratic support? Is that right?
It looks like this is going to need Democratic support, because there are a handful of Republicans who we know will absolutely not vote for any what we call a CR here, a temporary stopgap measure, just on principle. So it seems like Republicans are going to need some Democrats to move this forward. Now, the biggest driver of that for Democrats to come to the table might just be the calendar. Christmas is around the corner. If Congress doesn't get this figured out, that means they're going to likely be here for Christmas. And
they want to go home. They want to be with their families for Christmas. Okay, well, then do your job.
Continue to work through until the government is funded. I can tell you, as much as that may seem like it doesn't matter, it absolutely does. They want to get out of here. Many of them have family plans. That's going to be a big driver of the pressure here to get both sides to come together. So do they have the votes? That is an evergreen question that we're always trying to answer, especially with this Congress. We'll find out in short order here.
And then the nerve of them to want to take a vacation with their family while the federal government is not funded. And you know what the funniest part about that is, that they still get paid. They will still be some of the people that get paid as a result, even if the government shuts down. That's A. And then B, they tried to push themselves a raise into that situation. Absolutely not. I can't wait for Trump to get into office. I can't wait for Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, to start to do their thing. And I'm interested to see how stripped down this government should be, and will it be going forward, because I know that Vivek Ramaswamy said that they wanted to be done with auditing the federal government and pushing these things through by the end of 2026 or the middle of 2026. I'm not sure. But yeah, man, I think that the government is not being ran effectively like a business. And I am interested to see what Biden, I guess I shouldn't be, but I am interested to see what they are doing to have a conversation about this whole budget and pushing this thing through. Let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. I'm going to keep y'all updated throughout the day, as well as after hours tonight. Let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. And then Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I can't wait to read y'all comments.